I kind of assume that most of our viewers will at least have tried using AI in terms of assisting them writing writing some code. And certainly many of the people that I've spoken to that have got excited about it have often been writing reasonably small, simple things. So that's certainly one thing. It's obvious that kind of vibe coding a prototype for something that's fairly common is so easy that even non-programmers can do it. But it seems to me that for grown-up professional software development, the kind of more complex systems that both you and I have spent much of our careers being involved in, there's more to it than that, and there's more. It still requires a lot more thoughtfulness, not least at the level of software architecture, the shapes that that we are going to organize our thinking and our systems around.
And I think part of that's a bit natural, because I think the implications and benefits of architectural thinking are typically benefits you only see over a medium to longer term time scale.
Yeah.
So a lot of developers often chafe when architects say, no, don't do it like that, because in that moment, we're making the developer's life slightly harder.
Yeah.
They want to get something done, and that's how they're often being incentivized.
Yeah.
But we're doing that often because there are wider forces at play, and that thing you're doing right now maybe isn't that big a problem. But if we carry on doing that in 6 months, in a year from now, or 2 years from now, we'd have major issues. So we've kind of got two things happening, which is the AI assisted software development tools are getting better.
Yes.
And we have been using them for longer.
Yeah.
And so we're starting to get a lot more information about like what the implications of those practices are. And we're starting probably to see kind of what the cost is of not thinking architecture around them. I think it's still too early to say in terms of real studies, but like, I think now that your AI coding assistants can do much more bigger, much more sophisticated bits of code, they can run for hours, producing much more complicated things at a very expensive price point as well, depending on your point of view.
Yeah.
I think this is now the right time to start having the conversation, start to flesh out some of the patterns and practice around these.
Yeah, and one of the things that it seems to me is that this is a big deal, and I'm not hearing many people talk about it either. In terms of people are still at the stage of talking about small single user, relatively. Simple's not the right word, because people are building real world software, but not many people that I'm seeing are talking about the constraints that we need to put on systems to be able to do that. My example, I tend to use Twitter as an example. I reckon that I can write the basic function of Twitter, as a web application for a small number of people in a few days. The ability to register interest in topics of conversation and show those and have a reasonable user interface. It'd probably take me 3 or 4 days. That's kind of the scale of that problem. But obviously, clearly, that's not the real problem of implementing something like that. If you're trying to manage the fire hose on a global basis of data that's involved, that's a radically different kind of problem.
That almost speaks to the, like, because I know lots of people doing complex software using AI, but I think what you're talking about is something different, which is we are building something from scratch with AI, and there's an expectation that somehow we're going to. I mean, this is why I have a bit of an issue with the whole, this is going to cause a SaaS apocalypse, and it's like, it kind of won't actually in the way that people think, because there's a lot of other things those products do that your new vibe coded product isn't going to be able to handle.
Yeah.
And I think there's also there's getting to the scale, and I think that's part of it, but also a lot of the people that are trying to create applications quite quickly with that mindset are actually not developers.
Yeah.
They are frustrated product people. They're people that have got a good business brain, want to do a startup and everything else. And we haven't really seen any of those systems built that way get to a point of having anything like a mass market appeal. They get to be boutique little companies at best. And we hear way more stories of those things collapsing under their own weight than we do delivering success. But I also think that's kind of a bit of a red herring, because I actually think that outside of prototyping, the AI assisted like software development tools are things to make experts better. I don't think there are tools to make non-experts be able to create production-ready software. And I think that's the lie that some people have sold, right? And sure, a prototype, absolutely fine. I'm speaking to a person doing a startup at the moment, and they want to get something out rapidly so they can talk to investors. They've got a really interesting idea. They're trying to find a technical co-founder at the moment.
Yeah.
Using that to sketch up an idea and put it in front of someone and visualize what they're thinking. Great, great.
Yeah.
But like, they are accepting they're going to throw that away once they get the real team involved. And so I think
that's my 3-day version of Twitter. Yeah.
Your 3-day version of Twitter, and so I think that's, for me, it's that whole thing has burnt itself out, I think, quite quickly, even though a lot of people are still believing on the lie of that.
Yeah.
And there are lots and lots of people now who are marketing themselves as AI consultants to help rescue people that vibe coded their way to a product that they now can't adapt. And I just think that will resolve it. That will burn itself out very, very quickly.
These discussions are intended to help push our discipline forwards. If we've helped you to develop your thinking on what we've been talking about, please leave this podcast a review, as that will help our show massively to reach a wider audience. Tell a colleague or a team member about it, or share it on social media. If you have any thoughts on our discussion today, the best way to join in the conversation is via our Discord channel. And as a patron, you'd also get exclusive access to the full-length video version of every Engineering Room episode. All the links are in the description below. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you at the next one.